This is Stars and Scopes with your friend Uma, updated every new and full moon with guidance based on planetary transits in the current sky and extra support from tarot. For accuracy, take a look at your rising sign first if you know it, and do feel free to listen to your sun, moon and rising if you'd like the full picture. If you're interested in your birth chart, check out the readings page at umaruby.com. And if you'd like to support the work, head over to buymeacoffee.com/umaruby and you can buy me a coffee. Finally, if you're a visual learner, look up Uma Ruby Tarot on YouTube and you can watch and learn. Okay, let's take a look. Hello Gemini and Gemini rising. Welcome to your horoscope for the new moon in Virgo, happening on August the 27th at 6:17 p.m. if you're in the Southern Hemisphere with me. Of course, look up your time zone, won't you? Welcome to your reading and welcome to your activation to spread some roots. This new moon is your time to be like clay and to move with the suggestion, but also to manifest and call in, ask for what it is you need when it comes to roots and a sense of home, a sense of stability and privacy. The fourth house for you is Virgo. The fourth house is our sanctuary. It's our palace. So at this time, at this new moon, you've got access to really thinking about what it is that you want when it comes to home, when it comes to roots, when it comes to family and privacy, and to ask for it, to make a wish in the blackness, in the darkness, and to have it happen. Have a little think about that. Have a little think about what that kind of brings up for you. I know that the fourth house can be a touchy subject for some people, definitely for me at times. There's some of us that sort of roll through life never quite knowing where home is and never quite knowing where we can hang our hat. And when we're presented with that, with the option, with the opportunity, it can sometimes be like two batteries sort of working against one another. If you're used to being a wanderer, then the idea of home is sort of foreign to you. I think that as I'm working it out and as I'm working through it, I'm understanding that the fourth house represents more than just a physical space. It represents a feeling, a groundedness in the body, which is perfect to talk about Virgo. I think that Virgo as an emblem, as an archetype, is an interesting one because it sort of brings up, it's virginity, it's the virgin, the blessed maiden. It's like, I think that in a lot of ways that language is, it's antiquating. We can move forward as a consciousness, and we know that the term virginity is an invention, and it's an invention of forces that would suppress us in some way. When you think about Virgo, I'd like you to think about the Hermit. The Hermit belongs in the Tarot. The Hermit's one of the great mysteries of the Tarot, and the Hermit is Virgo energy. It's one of the major secrets of the Tarot, and the Hermit is the one that has drawn away from social life, from the milieu, from their community, to take a time away and to think about what it is that they know and what lessons they've learned from the earth and from spirit and from their access to the elements in the universe. And they are bringing all of these bits of information together, and they're putting it in their mortar and pestle, and they're grinding it up in order to make the potion to heal others. So in some ways, I see your home and your roots and your sense of stability and groundedness as being a really healing space. There's something in you, Gemini, that is committed to creating space, and that could be energetically, that could be physically, but there's something about it being in order to heal others and to take what it is that you know and to pass it on. The home, what do they say? Home is where the heart is. That's a really good one. We can hang on to that little idiom. I think that will serve us really well as we move forward. So home is love, and home is wherever you are, because that's where your heart is. All right, so that is the moon energy. I did want to talk to you about Mars as well, because Mars is playing a pivotal part potentially in this lunation. They're forming that square again, that pressure. But this time Mars has entered Gemini, which is your first house. If you're a Gemini rising, this is your house of the very soul and your purpose, what it is you're here to do in this lifetime. Mars is a great, enthusiastic, fiery energy to work with. There's a real passion with Mars. Mars really moves ahead. And Mars has just entered Gemini, but is going to stay there for the next 7 months. Doesn't always happen. Mars moves fairly quickly around that zodiac, but there's a retrograde that's happening in Gemini and then a forward motion. So from our perspective, it would seem that Mars is going to be in Gemini for 7 months. So you've got a lot of time and a lot of potential battle in your soul purpose, in your sense of self, and sense of self, but not so much in ways of your identity. I would probably put it more one layer deeper. Your soul purpose. What are you here for? Why did you incarnate in this lifetime? And what pressure is that creating at the moment with your sense of roots and your sense of home and ancestry? If you're living away from your roots, that might be cropping up. There might be recollections or understandings of why you had to do that. And remember that ancestry doesn't always have to relate to that feeling of home. Sometimes it can be quite the opposite, and that's depending on your chart, that's depending on your experience in this life, your 3D experience, which is very important to remember and to work with at a Virgo new moon. Virgo is all about earth, planting the garden. All right. Let's talk tarot for a minute. So the tarot card for the sun and the moon in conjunction forming this new lunation at 4 degrees in Virgo is the 8 of Pentacles. So check that out. That energy is about commitment, isn't it? It's about repetition, it's about mastery, and it's about staying the distance. So this sense of home, this sense of creating a home or re-establishing a home or coming to grips with difficulty in ancestry takes diligence and takes active work. Virgo is an incredible taskmaster. They're very good at getting things done, very good at the details. So this might be a beautiful time with this moon to, as you're manifesting, as you're using spirit talk and spirit language, and as you're calling in from the planets and the stars and your spirit guides, also use what's around. Use the earth. Use the living beings and souls and feelings around you to do that too. And think about what you're needing to plant in order to start something that can generate, that can be regenerative for a happy, healthy home. Mars is at 4 degrees in Gemini, your first house. And then we've talked about this card before, but it's the 8 of Swords cropping up again. So this is the beginning of a long journey, okay? This is the beginning of this 7-month process for you of reactivation of pride and reactivation of intent in terms of your soul path. So there may be some anxiety that's cropping up to begin with. There may be that feeling of it depends on your experience, depends on your reality, but there's something about bondage, there's something about being beholden or held in place at the moment with this Eight of Swords card. So the antithesis, and I think that if we can work with Luna first, because she's closest, the antithesis to any of this that might be cropping up in terms of soul journey or what am I here for, what am I supposed to be doing, could be aided by this Eight of Pentacles energy. This commitment to showing up might be really good for you. And this commitment to remembering that you're entitled to a home. You're entitled to a safe space. You're entitled to lay your roots somewhere. Maybe not now, but eventually. That's the astrology, babe. I'm going to pull you some intuitive tarot too, because we're going to get some messages direct from Spirit to me, to you. So what is that? Yeah, have a rest on that and look forward to it. New moons are always, it's the, perfect pitch black. You can do whatever you want in the dark. So do it. Ask for it. I need 3 cards, please, Spirit. That's way too many. That's way too many. 3, I said 3. 3, please. Oop. Great. Great, great. I'll take him. I'll take him. I got the Page of Pentacles. I got the 3 of Cups. And I got the Knight of Pentacles. You're in the very beginnings of asking for it, aren't you, Gemini? You're calling it in. You're calling this, security is maybe the wrong word, but stability is a good one. There's something about your roots that are starting to shoot, aren't they? They're starting to grow. They're starting to dig into the earth. And this could be where you are right now. This could also be right here. This could be a feeling of belonging that you're experiencing. And you're in company with someone who is really earthy. You're in company with someone who was raised by the earth, who has great guides around them that keep them here on this planet and know a thing or two about what it takes to work with the energies of earth. The Page is youth. The Page is, if you think about your inner child, think of the Page of Pentacles is the inner earth, the earth child. This is someone where it comes second nature. They know what they're doing. They can throw some seeds in the ground and the garden grows the next day. They know how to make it work for them and for you. And there's something here about a coming together, a reconciliation, a great celebration between loved ones. So maybe you're celebrating, or you're going to be celebrating something quite soon when it comes to your roots, your home, your space, your little patch of earth here on this planet. Not that you own it forever, and not that, owning property is a very interesting and problematic concept, I think. But as far as tending to the patch, you're a caretaker. And maybe that's where you're sort of headed. You're sort of working towards that space of being a caretaker. This is going to be so grounding for you. And I mean, there's that beast, isn't there, between the legs? There's that still, steady horse. There's the fields in the background that are ready to be sown. They've been ploughed. And there's that heavy offer in the hand. You're working with something here. You're working with an energy that is grounding and that is bearing the seeds of great potential. Think about these pentacles as seeds. You got 2 of them, babe. You're in good company with someone that knows what they're doing, and there's a group of you. There's a coming together again after a time apart maybe, or that there's something here that is a celebration of your achievements and or what you're about to achieve, the anticipation. I like to celebrate that sometimes. I like to celebrate anticipation. But work with that beast. Work with that beautiful horse that's underneath you, that cloven hoofen groundedness, and make it happen. And make it happen with the moon. This Virgo new moon is for you. What do you want home to look like? Where do you want to lay your roots? Ask for it. That's your reading, Gemini. I love you. And I'll speak to you next week or in 2 weeks for the Pisces full moon. That's it. That's the reading. Bye.